You know, if you're running a business, the goal always seems to be the same, right? Growth, more of everything. But what if that relentless chase for more is actually the very thing that's holding you back?
Okay, let's just let that sink in for a second. This idea right here, it's a fundamental truth that so many businesses, big and small, completely miss. We're wired to just keep pushing, keep adding, keep scaling up. But that strategy, it has a hidden expiration date. So I want you to really think about your own business right now. Every dollar you put into marketing, every new person you hire, are those moves actually investments that are bringing you a solid return? Or have you crossed a line where it's, well, just spending? To figure that out, we've got to dig into a really powerful economic idea. This is the key to knowing when to step on the gas and, maybe even more importantly, when it's time to ease off the accelerator. And here it is, the law of diminishing returns. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Basically, it just means there's a sweet spot, a point of peak efficiency. And once you go past that sweet spot, adding more of anything, more money, more people, doesn't give you the same bang for your buck. In fact, your returns actually start to shrink.
Let's make this super clear with a simple example, a bakery. Okay, look at step one. You've got one baker, and they are an absolute machine. Everything's running smoothly. Now fast forward to step three. You've crammed 5 bakers into that same kitchen. They're bumping elbows, getting in each other's way, and the number of loaves each person bakes per hour plummets. You're actually paying more in salaries for less output per person. That is diminishing returns in a nutshell.
And listen, this isn't just about bakeries. This idea pops up everywhere in business. So let's break down 5 of the most common traps where smart business owners get caught by diminishing returns. First up, a classic, marketing. The gut instinct is, hey, if I spend more on ads, I'll get more sales. And that's true up to a point. Eventually, you've shown your ad to everyone in your target audience who's gonna buy. Pouring more money in is just shouting into the void. The smart move isn't just spending more, it's finding the channels that give you the best return and putting your energy there. Oh, and hiring. This is a big one. We think being busy means we need more people. But if your internal processes are a mess, adding another person just adds to the chaos. You're not fixing the problem, you're just throwing more bodies at it. The real solution is to fix the system first. Streamline things, automate what you can, and then see if you still need that extra pair of hands. Then there's the inventory trap. It feels good to have a fully stocked warehouse, right? But all that extra product is just cash, sitting on a shelf, collecting dust. It ties up your money, you're paying to store it, and it can go to waste. Instead of just buying more stuff, you gotta use your sales data to make smart predictions about what you'll actually need. And of course, technology. We've all been there. There's a cool new app for everything, and it promises to solve all our problems. But before you know it, you're paying for a dozen different tools that don't even talk to each other, and your team only uses half of them. That's not efficiency, it's just digital clutter and a bigger monthly bill. The goal is to find tools that actually fit how you work. And the final trap, the big one, expansion. Opening that second location feels like the ultimate sign of success. But if you do it before your first location is a perfectly oiled machine, you're just setting yourself up for failure. You end up stretching everything, your team, your money, your brand, way too thin. You have to perfect the recipe before you try to replicate it. Okay, so we've seen the traps. It's easy to fall into them. So how do we stay out? Let's build a simple, practical playbook you can use to make much smarter decisions. This story about a landscaping business says it all. Check it out. They added a second truck, and things were great. Revenue shot up, profits were booming. They found our sweet spot. But then they got a little overambitious. They bought 3 more trucks, but they didn't have the customers to keep them busy. All of a sudden, their cost went through the roof, and their profit margin was actually worse than when they started. And the lesson from that story is so important. You have to let proven customer demand pull your business forward. Don't let your ambition alone push you off a cliff. So here's your game plan. It's pretty straightforward. First, use your own data to figure out where that sweet spot is. Before you go all in on some big new expense, test the waters with a small version first. You have to be constantly, and I mean constantly, watching the return on your investments, and always look for ways to get more efficient before you add more resources. And probably the hardest one, you have to learn to recognize when to just stop. Look, This isn't just some abstract economic theory. This is a real-world framework for building a business that's not just bigger, but stronger and way more profitable. So, what are you going to do with this information?
Here's your homework. Sometime this week, I want you to take a really honest look at where your money is going. Which of those expenses are still knocking it out of the park for you? And which ones feel like you're putting in more than you're getting out? Find just one of those and start thinking about how you could shift that money towards something that actually works.
So I'll just leave you with this one final thought. The next time you're about to make a big move, before you sign that lease, before you post that job opening, before you buy that new thing, just pause and ask yourself this one simple question. Seriously, it might just be the most profitable question you ever ask.